Hello and happy summer. I'm Kiki Thaxter down at the Norwood Town Common, bringing you a very special edition of Norwood News. On this episode, we take a look at a brand new living local featuring Bodie Spa. We recap the July 4th parade, and we take a look at NCM's Lights Camera Summer. All this on this special edition of Norwood News right here on Norwood Community Media. NCM is proud to provide coverage for the 4th of July parade every single year for residents at home to tune in and watch. Let's head down to Brian Boudreau on Washington Street.
Thanks, Kiki. Here on Washington Street, Norwood's 4th of July celebration is rooted in tradition. For decades, community members young and old have lined the edges of Washington Street to take part in Uncle Sam's birthday, and Norwood Community Media is always happy to be there to capture the action. Leading up to the holiday, we enjoy rebroadcasting parades of the past because you never know, you might just see yourself. This year, Selectman Matt Lane and General Manager Tony Mazzucco were the MCs at the bandstand, and it was a beautiful day to celebrate America. Those of you who missed the parade, here are some highlights. While the parade is the centerpiece of the festivities, there are more celebrations and traditions held earlier in the day. For those interested in history, a reading of Frederick Douglass's What to the Slave is the 4th of July at Old Parish Cemetery.
Where enslaved folks thought they could run to free states and be safe. That changed. They were getting captured. There was still tension. We knew we were on the brink of the Civil War. And I wanted to kind of talk about it given the tensions we're having right now in the United States. So many people are divided, and kind of give a charge of action, but also a little bit of hope that, look, this is not new. Folks before us have done it. We can still do it.
Meanwhile, at the Common, some of Norwood's young revelers showed their patriotism with their bicycles at the annual doll carriage and bike parade.
When Norwood News returns, we check out a brand new spa that brings whole body health and wellness.
Hey everybody, it's Miss Kate from the Morrill Memorial Library. Please come to the Bond Street Tot Lot every Monday in the summer at 9:30 a.m. for a really fun outdoor story time. We're going to read stories, sing songs, and have a special activity at the end. Hopefully we'll see you next Monday.
Hi Norwood, Mia Bailey here from the Skating Club of Boston, here to share some exciting programming we have coming up this August. First up is the Summer Sizzler on Thursday, August 14th. It is a show that starts at 7 o'clock with Olympic hopefuls from Team USA. And then arguably our more meaningful is the following week, Thursday, August 21st, where we'll have our Frozen 5K supporting the Always Champions campaign, which honors, remembers, and lifts up the stories of the 6 members that we lost on January 29th. Visit us at scboston.org or come by and see us 750 University Ave to learn more.
Hey everybody, I'm Mark Hoover, and the newest NCM Sports Talk is airing and available on demand now. On this episode, we have a brother interviewing his sister, a player interviewing her coach, and 2 science teachers talking sports in the classroom. All this and plenty more on the newest episode of NCM Sports Talk.
A brand new Bodhi Spa has opened here in Norwood, bringing a truly one-of-a-kind water journey experience. NCM caught up with Harmony and Cedar, the owners of Bodhi Spa, on this week's Living Local.
If you're driving down Cottage Street, you may have noticed a new spa that recently opened. The owners, Harmony Oshevsky and Cedar Wang, explain what Bodhi Spa is all about.
So Bodhi Spa is a modern take on a really ancient tradition of taking the waters with a community-based organization, essentially. So people have been doing this for centuries in other parts of the world, and we wanted to clean it up and modernize it and make it more accessible to our local communities. It's something that has been happening in Europe and other parts of the world for a really long time, but not necessarily in North America. So we wanted to bring that experience here.
After growing up in Nova Scotia, Harmony and Cedar went their separate ways to pursue their careers. However, a trip to Hawaii brought Harmony back to her roots and reminded her of her upbringing.
So we grew up doing spas with our families. First off, we had an interesting upbringing. We grew up off the grid in Nova Scotia. Our families were originally from Rhode Island and Connecticut. But our parents moved us there. We grew up off the grid, hand pump sinks, kerosene lanterns, but we always had a sauna. And some of our best experiences growing up were always with our saunas, with the family, and then we would jump into the snow afterwards, and we always got that amazing feeling. We didn't know why we felt so amazing at the time, but it's just something that was a tradition in our family growing up.
And traveling to the North Shore with my 9-month-old at the time with a group of girlfriends, we experienced one of these similar spas, but it was very, very small. Their water journey, which is kind of our phrase that we use to coin this experience, was just a very teeny 2-person infrared sauna, a 2-person hot tub, and a kiddie pool that you would have to lay down in and splash yourself to get that cool experience. So no filtration, no chemicals, no nothing, but you did get that cool kind of rush after you have the heat. And afterwards, we felt the exact same as we had felt being in one of these big modern spas in Europe or somewhere else. And I thought, wow, this is something that we could probably do a little bit better than this one, but we maybe don't need the budget for some of these really extra large ones. So I called my sister, who was in Newport at the time, and I said, hey, do you want to start a business with me? And she said, sure. And I was like, do you want to know what it is?
After deciding to go all in and open their own spa, Harmony and Cedar found the perfect location in Newport, Rhode Island to launch their first Bodhi spa, and things quickly took off. The Newport location became a hit, and 5 years later, they made the decision to expand to Providence. Now, as of May this year, they've opened their third spa right here in Norwood.
And really, we looked for several years, and it was all about it being the right building in the right location. And we did go to a few in Connecticut, and it just wasn't quite the right fit at those buildings. Not that it couldn't be in the future. And then we went to a few here. There was actually another building that fell through, thank goodness, because it just was not as good as this one. And then, you know, we came and saw this gem, and the location, the size. We also need a basement for building of the pools. It's how we like to do it. So it had all of the boxes that we needed checked off, and it also had this beautiful outdoor space in the front, which people really love about our Newport location. And so for us to have that access as well in an urban setting is really amazing.
As always, Norwood has welcomed its new residents and business owners with open arms, and Harmony and Cedar are enjoying getting to know the community.
Very welcoming, for sure. I mean, as soon as we met some of our local favorite lunch spots, they became super fans of ours, and we became equally super fans of theirs. We've partnered with a beautiful juice bar down the street that we want to offer some of their gorgeous smoothies and fresh pressed juices for our private events here. We are a health-based spa, so we don't do alcohol, so everything has to be really fresh and healthy and good for you, because we want you to leave glowing and you know healthy from the inside out. But the community's been really wonderful. Everyone, even including like City Hall, has been very helpful in getting our business licenses and welcoming us to the town.
Not only is a day at the spa great for relaxing, Harmony also emphasizes the health benefits of the water journey experience.
So the passion really originated with complementary health, and I think that there's something really empowering when you discover that you have a really big part in your own health and wellness. And there's a huge opportunity for us to take advantage of making ourselves feel the best that we can feel. And one of the best things that we get from people when they leave is they say, I've never felt better, you know, in my own personal body, which is, you know, the best gift that you could give someone and the best compliment that you could receive. So the biggest thing that's happening in here is the contrast therapy. You're going from a hot, you know, area such as a Finnish sauna or a 104-degree pool. And then we encourage you, it's not a rule, but we do encourage you to try one of the cold plunges. We have 2 cold plunges here, 55-degree cold plunge and a 45-degree cold plunge. And what happens when you start in the hot pool is your body gets overheated, and it says, I have to cool down, I have to protect my internal organs. And when you do that, you dilate your blood vessels and you send all of the blood to your extremities. And you increase the blood flow, you increase the circulation, and you start to sweat a little bit. Then you say, okay, now I'm gonna go into a cold area, and you go into one of our cold plunges, or you can take a cold shower, that's perfectly fine as well. But when you submerge in the cold, your body now says, oh, I'm cold and I have to protect my internal organs. So it now shunts all that warm blood to your internal organs, flushing it and detoxifying through your liver and your kidneys and your internal organs. So you have this vasodilation with the blood vessels where you're expanding, and then you have this really strong and fast vasoconstriction with the cold plunge. And by doing that, the dilation and the constriction, and then shunting everything through your detoxification centers, which are your liver and your kidneys, you're giving yourself this really great flushing, this really great detoxification.
When visiting the spa and taking part in the water journey, there are a few tips to keep in mind before reaching your moment of zen.
I mean, I think one of the big changes that I love to touch, there's two things that I'd love to touch on. Number one is we do have a whisper policy. And I know that sometimes people feel like it's annoying to be shushed, or we don't want to be quiet, or we want this to be a social space. And we think that there's definitely a place for that. But what we also know, and from our spiritual journeys, we know that there's something to be said about, you know, going within and listening to your body. And you can do that a lot more when you're quiet. We don't mind chatting, but we do it in a very, very low tone, a whisper tone, because when you allow yourself that space, it's almost meditative, and we don't often give ourselves that time. So we want this place to be a spiritual, meditative place of healing. So we always like to mention the whisper policy, and it's not because we want to tell people what to do, it's because we really want to give them the opportunity to experience that when we tend to not have that time in our lives for that space.
And it allows everybody to enjoy the space equally as well.
Yes. And people tend to thank us afterwards, and
Yeah.
they're like, I haven't had a chance to go within like that. And so, you know, it's really nice that it was quiet, and we appreciated you, you know, enforcing the whisper policy and asking people to respect the space in that way. The other thing that I think is a big change for us that I'd like to mention is we took the timing off of the water journey stations. We used to have time limits and say, or suggested times, because it is a guided journey. And so we would say, you know, start in our steam room for 12 minutes, move to the cold plunge for 30 seconds to a minute, move to the sauna for 7 minutes to 15 minutes. And what we found is, and what we know truly scientifically, is that you really should listen to your own body's physiological processes. So for me to tell you to go into a cold plunge for a minute might not be healthy for you. You may go in for 15 seconds and that's enough for you, and we might have somebody who's studied the Wim Hof method go in for 10 minutes and that's healthy for him or her. So we really wanted to get back to, you know, going within and listening to your body's own physiological responses.
The name Bodhi Spa carries a special and unique meaning that reflects the inspiration behind the spa's creation.
Bodhi is the name of a fig tree in India that the Buddha was sitting under when he became enlightened. And we truly feel like once you experience this whole water journey, you leave feeling a little more awake. And I mean awake in terms of your own personal existence, your own physical body. You feel a little lighter, and that, to us that meant maybe Bodhi.
Enlightenment.
Yeah.
Even though Bodhi Spa has grown throughout the years, Harmony and Cedar are always grateful for their supporters and the Bodhi Spa community.
I always say this, our success, we genuinely care about each other and our community and our families, and every single person that walks through the door we're eternally grateful for. As we get bigger, it's difficult for us to greet every single guest, of course, because we're bopping between all 3 locations. But you know, when we first opened Newport, we were just praying for people to come, and we'd watch them go by and we're like, you just want to come, like, come try it out. And now we've become really popular and really busy, but that feeling still hasn't gone away. We really genuinely are so grateful for everybody who's taken a chance on us and who's welcomed us into their communities, and who have, you know, opened their arms to say, like, let's go Bodhi Spa. And we're really grateful for that experience.
I was on that shoot, and when I tell you, it truly felt like I was on a therapeutic retreat. Now we're gonna send it over to Clayton Cheever with August edition of Moral Moment, and he has lots of events and books to share.
Greetings, library lovers. Welcome to the Morrow Memorial Library, Norwood's public library for everyone. Looking for a comfortable place to cool down this summer? Come on over to the library. We're open every day this month from 9 in the morning until 9 at night every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, from 10 to 5 on Fridays, 9 to 5 on Saturdays, and 1 to 5 on Sundays up until Labor Day weekend, when we'll be closed Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, August 30th through September 1st. I'm Clayton Cheever. I use he, his pronouns, and I'm your library director. Now I'm going to tell you about some things happening at the library this month, recommend some books, and tell you about some other ways you can benefit from your library. Teenagers are invited to BYOC. That's Bring Your Own Craft, to our Teen Craft Movie Night Club on Monday evening, August 25th, starting at 6. We'll leave the lights on low so you can enjoy crafting while watching a movie. This month, we're watching the classic Clueless, and we'll have some snacks too. Registration is required, so sign up today. Join a discussion about how immigration shapes and is shaped by the values of American democracy, led by nationally recognized immigration attorney Antonio M. Viana on Monday evening, August 11th, starting at 7. The title for this program is Restoring the Promise, and we'll talk about how current immigration practices intersect with fundamental constitutional principles such as due process, equal treatment under the law, and the balance of powers. Rather than focusing on politics or partisanship, Restoring the Promise focuses on our shared ideals of fairness, accountability, and the belief that the strength of our democracy depends on how we treat every person under its protection. Please register for this discussion to reserve your spot. Master Gardener Kate Donovan of Blackstone Valley Veggie Gardens is presenting a program on canning, freezing, and dehydrating on Monday evening, August 18th, starting at 7. Come get some really helpful tips on how to preserve summer's bounty for a year or longer. This program is presented in partnership with the Norwood Conservation Committee, with the support of the Massachusetts Cultural Council and their Festivals and Projects Grant Program. Registration is required to make sure we have a seat waiting for you. How are you and your family faring on your progress towards your summer reading goals? There's still plenty of time for good stories and enriching text, and our prizes are looking pretty amazing to further incentivize everyone to strive to exceed our expectations. Youth and adults alike can participate in our reading challenges and get inspired to increase the enjoyment of books. We make it easy to participate with the Beanstalk app and the perfectly pocket-sized passport for the adult challenge. Learn more by visiting the library or viewing our website. Make sure you check out the amazing displays of summer reading prizes when you visit us. Now, let's dive into some fantastic books. Whether you're looking for a delightful read for kids or something more profound for adult readers, we've got something special for everyone. Let's jump right in. Fluff Nugget is Happy Forest resident cheer-up guru, until one day he just can't hide his own sadness and cries, "I am not okay!" David DeGrand's riotous, over-the-top cartoon artwork and slapstick humor keep pages flying by, while the story's gentle reminder that it's okay to ask for space resonates with kids navigating big feelings. Booklist calls I'm Not Okay bright and bold, raucous art and slapstick comedy that steals the show. When Devils Sing by Sean Cower is a Southern Gothic thriller for teen readers that brings together 4 outsider teens, motel maid Nira, true crime podcaster Isaiah, estranged heiress Sam, and conflicted Reed, to unravel a cycle of cicada-driven disappearances in Carrion, Georgia. Kirkus hails this book as a harrowing tale of desire, despair, and the devil, praising its immersive atmosphere and complex, flawed protagonists. Fans of Mexican Gothic and True Detective will not be able to put it down. Now for adult readers, 2 titles quite different from each other, yet equally captivating. Marjorie Benson, a repressed schoolteacher, and Enid Pretty, a flamboyant would-be assistant, team up for a once-in-a-lifetime expedition to find a mythical golden beetle in 1950s New Caledonia. Kirkus dubs Miss Benson's Beetle by Rachel Joyce a hilarious jaunt into the wilderness of women's friendship and the triumph of outrageous dreams, while another reader raves that this book is pure gold, full of complex, memorable women, plot twists, and a deft balance of hilarity and emotion. In this book, Booster Shots, pediatrician and infectious disease expert Adam Ratner examines measles' catastrophic comeback, revealing how the virus erases immune memory and our collective amnesia about its dangers has fueled recent outbreaks. Publishers Weekly awarded it a starred review, and Chelsea Clinton calls it a masterful history, a forceful case for the path forward across politics, public health, and patient care. Booster Shots is essential reading for everyone concerned about the next pandemic. Now, with any luck, your plans this August include some serious time spent on a beach. You know, I fully support just listening to the waves while reading a book, but sometimes it's fun to be more active and enjoy time with family and friends with a game of spike ball. Don't have your own set? Borrow ours from the Library of Things. I also highly recommend borrowing our beach tent so you can have a little pop-up shelter to expend your beach time in comfort and shade. These and so many other great games, musical instruments, pieces of equipment, and more can be found in our Library of Things. Visit our website and browse our Library of Things from the Books and More menu to see what other treasures we have waiting for you. Before I sign off, I want to thank our dear friends in the library. Any of the time the library is open, you can browse their ongoing book sale in the nook just by the door to our parking lot. Proceeds from the sale provide support for library programs throughout the year, including the funds for crafts and supplies for programs for kids and teens. This month, they also provided the funds for the paint night on August 7th and the puzzle race on the 9th. Please, make sure you have an active membership in the Friends and support them whenever possible, as they make possible so much of what we present here. We are so grateful for all the support. That's a wrap for this Moral Moment. I'm Clayton Cheever, your guide through the wonders of the library, wishing you an awesome August, bursting with bold adventures and brilliant reads. We can't wait to see you at the library. Until next time, happy reading.
Last summer, I was in Greece and decided to film a Sweet Treats with Keeks. Let's go take a look.
Hello and welcome to the latest Coakley Middle School construction update. We are coming to you live. Well, by the time you watch it, it won't be live, but I'm coming to you live from the new studio inside the Coakley Middle School. I'm joined, as always, by Bethany King of WT Rich. And Bethany, a whole bunch has happened since you and I sat before.
Yes, sir. A lot, for sure. So, yeah, the building is done so the town can move in what we call FF&E, which is furnitures. So
Fixtures and equipment.
Yeah, exactly, the whole detail, exactly. But right now, the furniture that we're sitting at, right? So the building looks very different with furniture, and there's desks everywhere. We're conditioned in here. It's nice and comfortable. Yeah, we're looking good.
Yeah, and I assume you're doing all the commissioning stuff now. You've started that.
Yeah, we're actively in commissioning, tweaking out the systems, all systems, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, fire protection. Everything's operational. It's just you do those last minute commissioning to make sure it's operating exactly how they want it so it's most efficient.
So besides the commissioning, are we working punch lists?
Yeah, we're working punch lists. Our goal is to try and get that punch list as close to zero as we can.
So tell everybody what a punch list is.
So our team and the engineer and the ownership has all walked the building after we thought we were complete, and we make a list of open items, right? A ding on a wall here, this might be missed there, right? Whatever is an open thing that needs to get fixed before we turn it over to the town. So usually punch lists are thousands of items. We've stayed on top of this one for this project. I think we're in the 300 or 400s at this point. So our goal again is to try and get out of here so we're not coming in and doing last minute things once the teachers and students are here in the fall.
Yeah, so an example of a punch list item might be right over there on that wall that you'll take a picture of and you'll show it to me.
Yep.
That would probably be one.
Exactly.
They had to do probably some late repair on that or something?
Exactly. So the drywaller and the taper patched the wall, and then the painter has to come back and
I'm off to Greece tonight, and I will for sure be filming another episode of Sweet Treats with Keeks, so be sure to stay tuned. The last 2 weeks, NCM has held their Lights Camera Summer Workshop with kids from 6th to 8th grade coming in and learning all about broadcasting, filming, and editing videos. Ron Marshalsea, who was once a student, is now the teacher.
For over 20 years, Norwood Community Media has put together a video workshop called Lights, Camera, Summer. This workshop allows 6th, 7th, and 8th graders to get hands-on experience working in the high school studio and control room, in addition to putting together their own newscast, conducting several on-camera interviews, and filming and editing their own music video. NHS Principal Cindy Durain was one of our guest interviews during the first week of LCS and thoroughly enjoyed the chance to meet the future stars of NHS TV and Norwood Community Media.
I was so thrilled to be interviewed by the Lights Camera Summer program last week here at Norwood High School. It was so awesome to see the kids get so excited and manning the truck and giving each other cues. The interview skills were spot on. The young man who interviewed me couldn't have been kinder and more professional. The whole crew was great, and it gives me a lot of pride to see that in action and have taken part of it. I would love to see those kids continue with what they've learned here, come to Norwood High School, utilize all of the awesome equipment that we have in our studio and continue to be involved, potentially compete at STN, bring home some trophies for Norwood High School, and gain some real life, real world skill.
8th grader and producer Matthew Sweeney spent his last 3 summers with us at Lights, Camera, Summer. We got to talk with Matthew about his experiences over the last 3 years.
This is my 3rd year at Lights, Camera, Summer. I got into film from my elementary school, the Scoop, Mrs. Mullen. She started like a group where every Friday we'd make like a video for the whole school, and I just really liked it. So the last 3 years I've been doing LCS, and I continue to hopefully through high school, because I'm almost there, to start more filming, and it's just a really fun time. On this year I got a lot of my friends to do it as well, because I told them I was really good and they believed me. So now a lot of my friends are in there and we're just having a good time. The staff's amazing, they're super nice, and just like we have such great equipment to use, all of like what we do, and like we're making like music videos and all that stuff. It's just really fun. So this is my last year at LCS, and if people who want to do it, would I like recommend it to them? Yes, because if they're interested in TV and all that, then this is a really good space and opportunity to like branch out, meet new people, and just learn great stuff about TV, and that everyone here is amazing. So and you'll make friends. So even if none of your other friends are here, you'll make new friends, and it's just a great community. It's a good space, and just a great place to learn.
Kiki Thaxter and I thoroughly enjoyed showing and teaching each of you as much as we could in the course of 4 days. Also, a big thank you to our assistant teachers over the course of LCS, Kate Broderick, Charlotte Martino, Sammy Wood, Anthony Canidi, and a one-day cameo by Brian Gagliard. You guys were a massive help to us. We want to thank everyone who chose to come spend time learning the ins and outs of broadcast production, and we hope to see you next year. And to those who will be at the high school by the fall of 2026, don't be afraid to stop by and say hi to NCM. We just might have a job for you. Also this summer, I went down to the Winsmith Mill and learned a bit about an upcoming business here in town, where anyone from a small craftsperson to a business looking for a space to work can get things done at the Mill Forge Makerspace.
I've been thinking about the idea of a makerspace for the better part of a decade. I'm Bill Brooks. I'm the shop manager and director for Mill Forge Makerspace. A few years ago, had an opportunity, sort of a gap, where I was thinking about it a little more seriously. Really got into it about a year ago. Started looking into financing, looking into space, acquiring some equipment, and really got rolling in December of last year. So members have access to woodworking, metalworking, welding, 3D printing, CNC, textile lab, electronics, and more. So a big part of what makes a makerspace work is the community. So we do offer training classes. Initially we'll be offering some basic training, just how to operate some of the equipment for folks who are brand new. We'll offer more advanced classes after that. But a lot of the learning will be peer-to-peer, working with other members. So members will have 24/7 access. There's 3 basic packages. There's a weekend only, there's a 7-day a week, and there's a family membership, which will accommodate up to 3 adults and all the children in a household. Members have access through a key card system, so they can get in 24/7. The membership agreement says that you can use equipment that you've been trained on. So anything that you know how to do, that you've been certified on, you're able to use any time of day. Some of the equipment is a little more dangerous, some of it's a little safer. So scissors, sewing machine, 3D printer, you can probably use without a great deal of training. CNC router, table saw, lathe, maybe a little bit more. We're hoping to have some basic classes set up right after the grand opening. So it'll be introductory to different areas of the shop, how to use woodworking equipment generally, metalworking, etc. We'll be offering some more specialized training, especially in care of tools, so sharpening, things like that. And then we'll be adding more classes, more project-oriented classes after that. Easiest way is to head to millforge.org. That's our website. We've got information about the equipment, about membership and pricing. We've got an events calendar on there. Feel free to stop by the shop as well. This is the first major makerspace in Southeast Massachusetts. There are some great ones elsewhere in the state. There's Artisans Asylum in Boston. There's Technocopia out in Worcester. But in the southeast corner of Massachusetts, northern Rhode Island, this is really it. We're hoping that we get a good kickoff this August, get some really strong membership started, and get the ball rolling.
I'm sure we're all aware of the construction that's been happening down in South Norwood, and the Haas Pool has finally been completed. Brian and I caught up with Sam White on opening day.
It is hot, and today is the first official opening of Haas Pool. We're very excited to be here, much anticipated after about 2 years of being closed. We do want to thank all the residents for hanging in with us as we've been prepping this pool. I know we are opening quite late, but we're happy that we are open this season, and we can't wait for everyone to come down and enjoy. So we do have a peninsula built in now in this pool. So this is a zero entry pool. So in the shallow end here, it is a slow decline into the shallow end that also is equipped with a ramp, an ADA accessible ramp. And one of the main reasons for this peninsula is for our Stingray swim team. So now we do have a regulated length for swim meets here at Haas Pool. And in the past, it was too long of a length to have actual meets here at Haas. So we're very excited for that, and we can't wait for the Stingrays to start and get going. So it's $5 for residents to just drop in, but you can also purchase a pool pass, which is at the Civic Center. You could do a family pass or just an individual pass, and then non-residents are $15 for drop-in. We're just ready to go, ready to bring on a great season. Spray park's open, pool's open, we're ready to go, open for business. 90 degrees, I'm about to hop in myself.
NCM and Jack McCarthy have been following the construction of the brand new Coakley Middle School ever since the groundbreaking ceremony. I've been on multiple shoots and seen the progress firsthand. Let's take a look at the second floor.
Hello and welcome to the latest Coakley Middle School construction update. We are coming to you live. Well, by the time you watch it, it won't be live, but I'm coming to you live from the new studio inside the Coakley Middle School. I'm joined, as always, by Bethany King of WT Rich. And Bethany, a whole bunch has happened since you and I sat before.
Yes, sir. A lot, for sure. So, yeah, the building is done so the town can move in what we call FF&E, which is furnitures. So
fixtures and equipment.
Yeah, exactly, the whole detail, exactly. But right now, the furniture that we're sitting at, right? So the building looks very different with furniture, and there's desks everywhere. We're conditioned in here. It's nice and comfortable. Yeah, we're looking good.
Yeah, and I assume you're doing all the commissioning stuff now. You've started that.
Yeah, we're actively in commissioning, tweaking out the systems, all systems, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, fire protection. Everything's operational. It's just you do those last minute commissioning to make sure it's operating exactly how they want it so it's most efficient.
So besides the commissioning, are we working punch lists?
Yeah, we're working punch lists. Our goal is to try and get that punch list as close to zero as we can.
So tell everybody what a punch list is.
So our team and the engineer and the ownership has all walked the building after we thought we were complete, and we make a list of open items, right? A ding on a wall here, this might be missed there, right? Whatever is an open thing that needs to get fixed before we turn it over to the town. So usually punch lists are thousands of items. We've stayed on top of this one for this project. I think we're in the 300 or 400s at this point. So our goal again is to try and get out of here so we're not coming in and doing last minute things once the teachers and students are here in the fall.
Yeah, so an example of a punch list item might be right over there on that wall that you'll take a picture of and you'll show it to me.
Yep.
That would probably be one.
Exactly.
They had to do probably some late repair on that or something?
Exactly. So the drywaller and the taper patched the wall, and then the painter has to come back and touch it up. So yeah, we track all of these things in our system, and every single company that we work with has their assigned list so that we can coordinate with the OPM, Vertex to make sure we're getting access to the building and cleaning everything up as quick as we can.
So on that window, I'm looking to see, it's like a barcode or something. And
yeah, so that's a QR code that we have throughout the building. Those QR codes our teams put up so that when a subcontractor walks in this room and they want to know if they have a punch list, they can take their phone or their iPad, scan that QR code, and see everything that's in that room.
Okay.
They can see every request for information we've sent, any drawing for the room, any punch list for the room. So we assign those just for tracking. And they're tracking what's a program called Procore, which is a construction program.
I was kind of hoping that was going to be the answer, but I didn't know.
It is.
But
You're right.
I will say this, throughout this whole time we've been doing these, I've never told Bethany what I'm going to ask her, and she always has the answer. Whether she makes it up or not, I'll never know.
It's a real test. It keep me on my feet for sure.
But so what else has been going on?
A lot. I think Luke is going to talk about the demolition. So right now, turning the building over to the town and moving into demolition of the middle school is the next key step that we're focusing on. So we're really trying to get this building wrapped up. There's also some, as the teachers move in, principals move in, and the town starts seeing the building, they might sometimes want to make a little bit of changes,
Sure.
right, once you actually see it. So we do have what they're called proposal requests, right? So they send us what they want us to do, updated drawings, and then we work with them on doing that work. So we're trying to do what we're calling day 2 work this summer. Again, to try and get the building as close to finish as possible, even including those changes. So that's been a big focus of the team.
Well, it's amazing to me. We're almost there. We're almost at the end line. And I always knew on projects when you're down to the sheets there, you're almost there, but you're not quite there.
We're not. There's punch lists, there's the commissioning of the systems, it's getting the systems operational so that the town feels comfortable taking them over. Another thing we've been focusing on is turnover to the town. So that includes trainings in operations and maintenance manuals and warranties. So we've been working with the facilities department, getting them in every week or so and training on a different system so that the facilities department is comfortable taking over this building and having ownership. Our team will be around for the next year and helping through the process, but those trainings are a key part. Once the systems get done, it's kind of turn into the owner and say, here it is, what are your questions, this is how it works.
Yeah, and that's an important point. The commissioning doesn't end when the school opens. They go through a heat season, they go through a cooling season, and by the way, it's wicked humid out, but it's very comfortable.
The HVAC system has been working great. We've had this live since the building's been clean. And it's keeping the building very comfortable. Again, it's the efficiency of the system though, and there's certain design and certain controls that make the building operate to use less energy, and it's making sure the building is as tweaked as possible to make sure it's as efficient as possible. And there's third-party companies that we have to bring in that aren't connected to the engineer or WT Rich or the town, and they come in with a clear brain, right? And they look at the system and they double check it all for us as well. So that's the process we're involved in right now.
And so if there's any middle schoolers for next year, check out the studio when you can and get involved, because this studio is going to be probably as good as many college studios. And take advantage of this program. It's a great program. Anything else?
No, thank you.
No, thank you. And, well, we have a year to still deal with you, so that's good.
Yeah, we'll talk next month.
And we'll be right back with Luke, and we'll talk about demo. As promised, I'm joined by Luke Apone from Vertex, and we're in the Media Center, as you can tell from the books that are behind us. All this stuff here came from the old building?
You got it, yeah. So as soon as school ended, a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, we were in there with the moving company. Took 2 days to move everything out of the existing building into this building. Everything is here, waiting for the teachers to arrive, and they can start to unpack their belongings and set up their classrooms and the Media Center for the school year.
Yeah, I was just going to say, obviously everything's out of that building because they're tearing it apart. So let's talk about how far along are we? How long is it going to take?
Sure. So demo started, like I said, as soon as school got out, basically on that half day. As soon as the kids were out, we were in there to start rip up the sidewalks. Demo and bulk began, I'd say, late last week. The gym and the cafeteria have been removed. The middle part of the building is still remaining. We've recently, as of this morning, got inspections to continue demo on the entire building, so they're going to start to work on both ends and meet in the middle. And the priority is to get the building down as quickly as possible, because the access road around the new building is right in place of where the gym and the modulars were. So priority is to get that building down, do the underground site work, the drainage, utility work under that road, and get that road paved as quickly as possible before students and staff return in the end of August.
Yeah, I think people can't appreciate all of the under the road stuff that has to happen.
Sure, right.
And I remember when we were fortunate enough on one of our shows, we were here when the road wasn't there, but all the underground stuff was, so we got a good view of that.
Right, yeah, never mind all utilities. We still have to just improve the ground to be able to support the road, right? And that's probably the biggest thing, is taking out all the soil that's already there, importing stronger soil to support the road.
See, that's something I wouldn't have known, so
Right,
that's
there
good.
you go.
So we have some milestones coming up in October. No, make that August,
Let's
Jack.
get to August first.
In August, we're going to have some of the, well, you tell me.
Sure,
when
yeah,
the kids
so-
can come in and...
Yeah, so towards the end of August, right around the 20th, I believe, the school has scheduled kind of like an open house and tours for students to come into this building. Typically, they only do it for the students moving up to the middle school. This year, where everybody's moving into a new school, it's open to all students and parents to come in and check out the new building, walk around, see where your classrooms are going to be, get everybody oriented. Then we have a ribbon cutting towards the end of August, right before school opens in September.
It's very exciting
It
stuff.
is, it's great. Can't
So
wait.
I'll ask the big question. How's the budget?
It's great.
Well, elaborate, please.
So yeah, no, we're definitely under budget. We still have a lot of work to do with demo, and that's where we can run into the unforeseen conditions, right? Anything that was not anticipated. And then we are also working on some, as Bethany mentioned, some day 2 items. We're working on adding an outdoor classroom and some sensory pass, play area, things like that. So there is some added scope that we're looking to use some of the extra funds we have.
Sure. That's funny you said that, because it just hit me. You're always concerned when you start of the unknown stuff you might find in the soil, and now at the end, it's the same issue.
Right,
Except
yep.
it's what you'll find in the building.
Right there, and we have to put the field back over there too, right? So whatever we need to do to make that field work is a priority.
All right. Anything else?
No, that's it.
All right. Well, that's it for the July. Yeah, we're July now. For the July construction update. And the reason I'm hesitating, because I'm getting a little verklempt, because this is the last time I'm going to be with my friend Megan Corbett at one of these, because she's going on to other things. But Megan, just thank you for all the support you've given me throughout if you can believe this, 17 years. She doesn't look like she's been out of high school 17 years, never mind that she's been working here. But you've been a great friend to me, a great mentor to me for this stuff. And if I got a little bit better, it's because of you. But, you are working with me, so that's a problem. But thank you, and see you later.
There will be a ribbon cutting on Monday, August 25th, and NCM will be there to capture this grand opening. Well, that wraps up this summer edition of Norwood News on the Town Common. Thank you so much for watching, and be sure to stay tuned to Norwood News to see all the upcoming summer events. Thank you so much for watching, and have a happy, happy summer. See you later. I'm gonna go grab some ice cream.